Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Abdulkabir Akinlabi. We'll continue our class. So, I want to encourage us to be practicing all what we have been doing. By the time we move further, all these things they will become one. So, your understanding of all those concepts, all the discussions we've had, will go a long way to help you a lot. So, what we are going to be discussing today is actually what I call layout. So we want to make our website to be functional. So on the price of discussing layouts, I'm going to discuss several other things that we have missed, such as border, padding, margin. All these things are all CSS properties. Now let me move straight to the point. Now let me first of all discuss something. Let's assume that I have a paragraph tag. I don't think this is going to be an issue. I am Abdulkabir Akinabi, a developer, software developer and web designer. Now, this is a paragraph tag. Um, so remember that we do have. Let me give it a style. So that style, remember that style. If I want to give it an internal styling, so I'm going to put it inside style as a tag on the head. So now I want to style that paragraph tag. Every paragraph tag, remember the syntax. So now there is a property of a CSS property known as border. So see, when we get to CSS, we are just borrowing CSS. I want you to know that we are borrowing CSS. Sorry, I'm inside the car. I have to leave this thing so that we can I want a very calm environment. So there's we are not in CSS yet, but we are just, in order for us to understand certain things, we need to enter CSS. So by the time we get to CSS, we understand all these things. The value I want to provide is going to be the first time I'll be using that kind of value. Something like border, it can have 1 pixel of the border, 1 pixel solid, then black, terminate. Then there is another property known as padding. You remember that when you want to separate property, you put the property, then semicolon, then the value. Let me put the property as the padding as 10 pixel. So the name of this file is layout.html. I think I have forgotten where I saved this, but let me check my desktop. It's because I'm training, that's why my desktop looks like this. So maybe it's not on the desktop. I think let me go and resave it and put it on the desktop. I think it's saving in one of the softwares I'm developing known as Soul Connect. Layout.html. So layouts. Okay, I've seen it. Layout.html. So I'm going to explain that. Okay, now the reason why this thing is like this is because I'm giving it that solid 1 pixel. Now let me explain. By the time you get to CSS, you understand the way to insert property like this. 1 pixel means the border is going to be 1 pixel thick. Let me increase it to 2 pixels so that you understand. 2. You see that it's going to be thicker. Can you see? 2 pixel solid. There are different values for different properties. So by the time you get to CSS, I'm not going to this lesson I'm giving you will just let you to understand the syntax. So by the time I give you that material I'm talking about, or I was talking about, you see different properties that you've not even heard of. There are many things we've not discussed. So by the time I give you that materials, I believe that for you understanding the syntax, you just be using those things anyhow you want. So just like someone was asking me some questions yesterday, I'm going to treat that today. So now solid, there are different this I think there's one known as dashed. You understand? That means that that border is going to be solid. But at this time around, I'm changing it to dashed. Do you know the reason why I'm wasting time? When I know that is something new, you can see dashed. So there are several other ones also. So that means that this border is going to be 2 pixel, dashed, and black. If you change it to red, you know the meaning. So that means that that thing is going to be red. So you can see my bracket is already having that. Are you getting it? So now that's you can see I'm trying to recollect what this is internal styling. Are you getting it? So what are we discussing? Yes, border. Then padding. Padding is the space inside. The space inside between the text and the surrounding border. Let me give you an instance. Let me increase this into 30 pixel. You see the effect. You can see the spaces between the border here, at this red border, and this thing. So that's the padding. So there's another one known as margin. Margin is the space outside the margin. Margin is, let me give that one 10 pixel. Terminate this. Don't forget to terminate this. So let's see the output. So you don't see the output of the margin because I think is because of this. Then let me increase this to 20 so that so the margin is outside. You can see that the box, this red box, is outside. So that's why I said here that the padding space inside the border, while margin is outside the border. So I want you to be getting this thing. So let me increase it so that you know. Let me increase to 40. Save. Go and check it. You see that the space here is going to increase. You can see that's the margin. So because all these things, we are going to be putting them together. So by the time I give you that material, you see several other tags that you've not learned. For instance, let me put something del here. Del is one of the tags that you've not had contact with. You can see the meaning of del is when you cancel a particular thing. Maybe you want to be doing pricing. You said this pricing, it was initially 300 naira, but now it is 250. So you are going to be discussing that. By the time you have that material, you see several other tags that you've not had. But so far as you know the syntax of writing those things, it will give you a headway. Now, what's the next this thing I'm going to discuss is ID and class in CSS. Please, I want us to be understanding some things. Let's assume a man. The name of the man is Chukudi. That Chukudi has 2 children. Maybe let me give it my baby's name, Chinyere, and Habiba is Chidima. So now, between Chinyere and Chidima, they want to have a particular property for anybody who is Chinyere. Maybe you have several Chinyeres, but that Chinyere, if you are my daughter, I'm going to give you red color. You know we have several Chinyeres. So that means that I want to specifically mention anything that has Chinyere that is Abikebir. Chinyere Abikebir. We may have Chinyere Chibuzo. We may have Chinyere Okoro. We may have Chinyere Samuel. So anybody who is Chinyere Abikebir should have this particular property. So that's where ID and class comes into play. You are going to get it when I give you that material, but I want to explain. Now let me give you that instance. We have let me remove this. I'm going to okay. Now you know this is the paragraph. This is the paragraph. I want to do ID for anything. So if we want to do ID, you put the paragraph and hashtag and the name of the ID. Anybody who is pass should have this particular property. Now let me copy this thing also. Are you getting it? Anybody who fail will have, let me color here. Most times you can bear me witness that green used to be for pass, and color here, color. Oh, you can see my brackets automatically because of the coloring. Color red. Now inside my this in here, let me have another paragraph. Abdulkabir pass. So now I'm going to supply ID equals to pass. So immediately I supply this ID for this paragraph is equals to pass, is going to pick up this. But let me use another paragraph tag. You know, we are using same paragraph tag. Let me put Sekina is a good girl, but she failed. So ID of this one, ID equals to fail. So now you see the same paragraph tag. Let's see the output. So you can see this one, Abdulkabir pass and Sekina failed. Are you getting it? So let us make this thing of this one to be green also. The padding, the dash of fail to be okay. Fail is red. That of this is green. Are we getting it? So now let me refresh. You can see. So you do know the reason why I'm saying all this is because we are getting to somewhere known as this layout. We are going to be doing the layout of our website. So I want to let you to understand the fundamentals of web design. You see, there is a difference between this custom development and those people that are using WordPress. The reason being that if you are working for a company and the company says that maybe I want this particular thing to move to this side, I want this particular if you are not working, if you are using WordPress, you may not be able to do it if you don't know the background of all these things. So you take your time to learn all these things and don't feel fatigued, don't feel tired of learning. Just make sure that you are forcing yourself to learn. So that's the reason why I'm repeating all these things. You can see the same thing for class also. By the time you get to div, I'm doing the div in this video also. So now you can see div pass paragraph tag but with ID pass, paragraph tag with ID fail. These are the CSS. So inside this place, at this let me mention at this level that if you don't understand, just mail me or send WhatsApp message to me. I'm going to discuss it with you because I don't want you to lose hope, because we are moving to more technical aspect of the work. So you can see it's not even something difficult. You can see we have different paragraphs, but we have already specified here that this place is fail and the other one is pass. So you mention the properties. So then putting it here. Then also now let me discuss the issue of div tag, or what's our next this thing, ID. Yes, ID and class. Okay, class. Let me now talk about class here. In my styling, don't forget that I'm still inside the styling. Yes, I'm still here. Yes. Now let me do a particular, if I want to do a div, there is one tag known as div. This div, I'm going to call it div dot cities. That means that any div tag that has class of cities, you can see they are the same thing, but by the time you start designing website, a great website, you know the difference. but they are following the same syntax. You can see inside these curly braces, I want to declare anything that have div tag but with a cities class. Now the color of the text is going to be white. Are we getting it? Terminate it. The background color is going to be black. Yes, the background color, should I put it background color black so that the white can show? Terminate. Padding. The padding, I told you the padding is the space inside this thing. The padding, let me give it 20 pixel. Are you getting it now? Terminate it. Yes, it's okay like that. So that means that anything that has cities, we're going to have this CSS property. Now let me go and put a div tag inside my work. Div tag, the class equals to cities. The class is cities. So maybe I write different this thing inside here. So you can see this for class. You can write many things inside, so that you can, by the time you get to developing more complex websites. Now let me use another this thing, div tag, because we are going to be using div tag in our layout. Div tag, maybe call this one town, but the town, the color is going to be red. If you are in town, you are going to appreciate this when we get to full layout of a website. The full layout of a website. Yes. Okay. There had been a time I paused this the studio. I did something I want to explain. Now look at my code. I think I want to use this style to explain for a better understanding. I told you, I said I'm going to give you a material. I think it is now time for me to give you the material. Now let me explain this. There is a tag known as header. By the time you get to Bootstrap, header is known as header. Now this tag, okay, who is not I don't think there's anyone here except the person doesn't read from the beginning, who doesn't know that there's an HTML tag, there's head tag. Inside the head we have title, and inside the head also we can have style. You can see this is the end of the style. I think this one is going to be a better way of understanding. Now there is one tag known as header. I just call this is the name of a tag in HTML5 known as header. Now you remember that when you put the name of the tag, you put what's it called, curly braces, then you be supplying CSS property. I put the background color of that header to be what? To be black. The text color of that border is going to be white. Text align is going to be center. I think we've discussed text align, and in this video also I've discussed padding is 5 pixel. And I told you that padding is the space surrounding the inside, while margin is the space outside. When you try margin, try it by yourself, you are going to get. I just want to use this one to be the last discussion. Then I'm going to now tell you the material I'm sending, how we are going to navigate the material. The material is W3 School material, and how we are going to open it, I'm going to discuss it in this video. Now there's another tag in HTML5 also known as nav. Are you getting it? Now I want to declare CSS for nav also. line height, the line height of this thing is going to be 30 pixel. The background color is going to be this. You see, this one is known as when instead of us writing the color directly, is known as hexadecimal color. You are going to see it inside the material. So it's hexadecimal color. This is a color. You can actually put it red directly, but let's leave it hexadecimal color. The height of that nav tag is 30 pixel. The width is 100 pixel. Then there is something known as float, a CSS property that is known as float. You know, if I say let me mention some bright. Yes, I think someone sent him an assignment. I love the assignments. I don't know if I'm thinking if it is bright or I don't think is Michael. I think it's bright. The person did a very wonderful form, and I was very, very happy. I was even telling someone closer to me. I said, look at what this person has done. He did a very wonderful work. That JAMB score. So I think I want to encourage the person to do the to work harder, and I actually like that this thing. So float, I can say that okay, bright is floating to the left. Bright is floating to the left. The padding is 5 pixel. Then there is inside that HTML5 also there is a tag known as section. This section, the width is this, the float also is floating left. It's floating left. If I'm pointing to the left like this is my own left, but in the video you are seeing right. So don't be confused. It's floating left. Then the padding also is 5 pixel. Where am I? Then the footer also. You can see all these things, like these terminologies, you are going to learn it when you get to CSS. Now let me give you the output. This is the output. This is the output. This side, let me give you the HTML. Now I now have header. Just this header. I've already declared the CSS up there. The nav, I've already declared the CSS up there. You should be asking me, why is this nav, upon the fact that I just wrote it like this, why is it here? It's because we asked it to float in the CSS, the nav, we asked it to float left. Look at it here. Then this section also, because we've already asked nav to float left, section also, this is section, we also asked it to float left. So that means that if you want to give that section, let's assume you want to give it background color. Background color. That background color, don't forget the syntax. Background color. Let me use this aqua. I think there is one color known as aqua. So by the time you refresh, you can see. So let me undo that. I don't need the background color. So now the same thing with footer. So I think the best thing is for you to go and try all these things and see what. Let's now assume that okay, you remember, okay, none of you don't know this break tag means you want it to come down. This is for the nav. So if you know observe that this is our navigation, this is supposed to be menu and it's not linked. So you can easily come to this place because of your knowledge of HTML. That's why I said later everything is going to be working together. You can put anchor tag here, put the stream inside the anchor tag, then supply the as attribute. href is equals to where you want it to link to. Are you getting it? So the same thing with this. You see that by the time you refresh this, it's going to be a link. So you can see that all those HTML knowledge it depends on your own initiative and this thing. So what I'm going to send today is W3 school material. I have it here. When you open the folder, you can see W3 school _HTML. I have for CSS, I have for JavaScript. So I wouldn't want you to disturb yourself. Start with HTML. Open it. Open this index file. This index file, you can open it with any browser. Let me open it with this same browser it's on. So you are going to see all the tutorials there. Please, this thing it will not take you, because we have already taught you, it will not take you less than, it will not take you more than maybe anything like 30 minutes to glance through it. So that's how we learn. So I believe that I have the one for HTML, or is an offline tutorial. I have for HTML, I have for CSS, I have for PHP, I have for SQL. So please try and learn. You see, by the time the way we are moving now, I think it's time for us to be coding. If you have been coding 30 minutes before, it should increase to 45 minutes, because I don't want you to forget all these things. That's the reason why I'm repeating. I'm trying to do many other things. Try and watch that layout I did. I didn't want to look at it here. I declare the CSS. I use internal. If I want to put it external now, what will I do? I will just copy all the styles. I'll copy all these styles, put it in a separate file, and link it using link. You know that if you don't know it, you go and watch the previous video. I think lesson 7. Yes, lesson 7 or 8. Yes, it's lesson 7. Please try and do all this work, and please expect my material before the evening. I'm going to send those materials to you. This material, so that you'll be moving introduction, editor, HTML elements. You see some tags that we've not discussed, paragraphing. So please try and check it. And thank you very much. My name is Abdikabir Akinlabi.